I'll call to order the Ironton City Council meeting of January 8th, 2026. With us for invocation tonight, we have Reverend Jeff Means with City Mission Church. If you would stand for invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance immediately following.
Our Father, we come to you now. We come asking for your guidance and direction for this meeting. Lord, we pray that our hearts and minds be attentive to that which you desire. Lord, that you would just prosper this town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Here.
Haney.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Simmons. Here.
Next on the agenda, we have the approval of minutes for the meeting of December 22nd, 2025. We do not have those, so those will be forthcoming. So, okay. Next on the agenda, we have audience participation. Before we begin that, I would like to read a small statement in regards to this. I'd like to take a moment to address the concerns that have been raised regarding the AI data center. At tonight's meeting, the City Council will not be taking any public comments or discussion on this topic. This decision is not due to a lack of concern or transparency, but rather because Council has already engaged in intensive dialogue with the public. We have fielded questions and feedback during a previous public meeting through personal messages, phone calls, emails, and numerous conversations with residents throughout the community. Additionally, Council has already taken steps to gather and address these questions internally. Prior to this regular meeting, we held a special meeting in which Dr. Dingus was present to answer questions that council members had filtered and compiled based on public input. Tonight's agenda includes pending legislation that requires council's full attention and must remain focused on the City of Ironton business before us. It is important to clarify, it is also important to clarify the limits of the City Council's authority. Ironton City Council can only act within the jurisdiction of the City of Ironton. Residents who live outside the city limits have concerns regarding this project and are encouraged to contact the Lawrence County Commissioners and their respective township trustees, as those entities have jurisdiction in those areas. To assist residents, I have a packet available this evening that includes a list of the appropriate township trustees to contact. The Lawrence County Commissioners' contact information can be found on their website. We appreciate the community's engagement and encourage continued communication through the proper channels as we move forward with this process. Now, most of the people that were here that I probably printed these out for are gone. But if you are not from the City of Ironton, Jay, can you pass that down? There are the proper channels. If you need to reach out to somebody within your township, there's a list of every Lawrence County trustee and their townships. And the Lawrence County Commissioners can be found on their website pretty easily. That being said, Craig.
I'd like to move to invite the trustee to speak.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Yes, sir. Yes. Would you please come up as an invited guest to speak on behalf of?
I appreciate that. I didn't think I wasn't being invited.
No.
But the first thing, I think would be zoning or looking into it.
What can you tell us your name and your township, please?
Bob Blankenship, Hamilton Township Trustee. Hamilton.
It's just outside of Haney.
It is Hamilton. Yes.
I
Part of Hamilton.
I appreciate you attending tonight, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say.
I apologize for the outbreak, but there is a lot of concern. I thank you for a lot of your digging on this up. I appreciate that. I just wrote down this evening a few notes before I came to the meeting. But as a trustee, I was not involved in anything. Didn't know anything about it. The day of the ribbon cutting, a friend of mine, my son-in-law, worked at one of the plants, come home and said, Bob, what was the ribbon cutting about? I had no idea. So the trustees was not involved in any way. In my thinking, we need leadership from the top to the bottom. We was thrown, the trustees was thrown under the bus. It's all our fault and knew nothing about it. Calpine was brought up this evening. Calpine, we had meetings with Calpine. They was coming into the community, but they done everything they could to let us know what they was gonna do. Duke Energy, when they came in, they went knocking on doors. They talked to the community, asking community's input on it. Yes, they got a break. They paid Rock Hill schools off before the first day of class. So Duke Energy put a lot into the community. But they let the community know what was going on. This company, and whoever's involved, and I'm gonna throw the commissioners in there. They know something's going on. Commissioners could have been here tonight. They're elected official. I'll get off of them, I'm sorry. But it just upset me. They throw us under the bus and they stay home and having dinner or going out to dinner or whatever. But anyhow, let me get my glasses on so I can see. But a lot of this has already been brought up. On Tribune, December 31st, is talking about the plant coming in. The Herald Dispatch, they had an article in there, and they had a picture of the ribbon cutting. No trustee was there. I didn't see a commissioner, but I'm sure one of the commissioners there. I can't say that for sure. And another thing, they started 3 weeks before they even had a ribbon cutting. As a trustee, I'll cut it short. I'm against it, 100%. I don't want it in my area. I don't want those black solar panels looking at me. The community don't want them. I know there's a lot involved. The Coke plant, I know they've had trouble. They was going to close down, but they had to pay a big fine for all the chemicals they're putting out in the air. And I know this company, I don't know much about them, but I'm not for them. I don't want them in the area. Appreciate it.
Bob, thanks for coming tonight. What would you recommend as a course of action for your constituents in Hamilton Township? Are you gonna attend the next meeting of the county commissioners and speak on their behalf, or because it looks like to me they have certain rules when it comes to public input, and that they allow one speaker per topic. So to me, it would make the most sense for someone who represents that. And I'm not calling you out,
I understand,
but just having the person that has the most at stake, or the person with the most information, be the person to present that information. Is that what you would recommend as the next course of action?
I think somebody should be here. I'll find out when the next commissioners meeting is.
It's January 12th.
January
I
12th.
want to make note of that in
9
our
a.m.
miscellaneous. 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
I already registered for it to address Hamilton Township City Council thing.
Okay, I'll make January 12th, I'll be there.
Now, we did, if you would have been here last meeting, you probably would have heard, and I know myself, I've taken phone calls, been stopped in the grocery store, at the gas station, personal messages, everything under the sun, any way you can communicate. I've had communication with people over the last, which our meeting was on the 22nd?
Yes.
I first heard about it December 19th, and I was like, well, that's not in Ironton, so I kind of was like, well, that's not Ironton, so, yeah. Little did I know, Monday we'd be walking into a full room.
Except on the 20th, me and him got our
Yeah.
butts ripped at Speedway over it. So.
Well,
We did.
I didn't know until they kept the river,
And-
before I did.
Well, and the thing about it is I believe your concerns are 100% legitimate, as well as all the other concerns with, why was it not announced prior to
Exactly.
the press release? Why were you guys not advised on this? Why was the county commissioners, they claimed that they were ignorant on the issue? Like you said, I'm gonna not comment on that, but,
Right.
I believe some people knew more than what they are portraying, and I truly 100% think that you guys should have been, at least had some type of public hearing where you guys were invited and explained to, like I said, if there's no tax abatements or are there any, things that can help Hamilton Township involved with this, I don't know. But, I do think that there are a lot of legitimate concerns. I have them as well. But like I said, I do realize that we're holding the comments on this down to a minimum because we have dealt with this and we do have something on the agenda tonight to address this within the city. But if you guys would need help, I know Jacob's got a lot of knowledge on this. I've got a little bit of knowledge on it. If you would want to reach out in order to kind of help you guys along with this process, I'd be willing to help you guys out any way I can.
I appreciate it.
Jacob?
I just want to say, I know from my perspective, we felt kind of like this came out of nowhere. I can't imagine what it feels like to actually be like a representative of a township and be completely in the dark about this.
Yeah.
So I think that my heart goes out to you guys.
I appreciate that. And I'm not bragging, patting myself on the back. Been trustee for over 30 years, and all the plants that came in, we was involved. They came to us. We had meetings. I've been on the LEDC for 25 plus years. Probably my next meeting, guess what? I'm resigning. Because there's something happened here that wasn't right. Something happened, and I was thrown under the bus. I'm going to throw the commissioners under the bus. They knew about it, and they did not let us, the trustees, the township trustees, know anything. Sorry to take that time.
Don't go making rash decisions because it seems like you're
No.
you're one of the ones that need to be in that position. So don't
I was in, I wasn't know, didn't know anything about it.
don't let this affect your ability to hold your position because obviously you're here tonight. You're addressing your constituents' concerns. So stay with it. Just because they slid it under the cover of darkness doesn't mean
Somebody knew.
well.
Somebody knew.
I would agree.
I appreciate it.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Jacob.
I just want to say too, I know that the overall sentiment has been kind of negative, but I do think there is a positive outcome in all of this. I think what people want is transparency from LEDC, and I think if there was transparency, we wouldn't be having this issue right now.
Could be.
And I understand that there's business dealings that you can't involve the public in on everything, but this one just it's bad all around. There's just no other way to put it. It's not good, and it's not something that if I caught wind of, I would never be in support of. And I've not talked to a single person who isn't involved in this project that has a positive view of it. But that being said, they have an opportunity to rehabilitate their image here, and I think that that's what I hope to see out of this. That the next time this situation comes up, they ask for public comment. But it's just a shame that it played out the way it did.
I don't know nothing about the company, but I'm not for it. Sorry. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Thank
your time. That being said, if anybody has any, audience participation, please step to the podium, state your, oh, sorry, Nate.
We had a invited guest, it was Zoe Clay from the Ohio State Extension Office. Sorry about that.
I'm used to it. Hi, thank you all so much for having me. Thanks for the invite. So I am Zoe Clay. I'm with the Ohio State University Extension Office. So I'm not talking about the data center or anything like that, just some projects we have going on in the county. First, I get these out of my way. I want to pass around these folders. So first, if you're not familiar with Ohio State University Extension, every single state in our country has a land-grant university, and that land-grant university operates a cooperative extension throughout their state. This goes back to the 1800s with the idea that universities provide scientific research-based information, and so they're going to extend the university into our communities. Really, it started with farming, and now it's kind of everything. But we have 4 main program areas. The first, of course, being agriculture, then community and economic development, which I dabble in, as well as we're the 4-H office. So we oversee, well, the 4-H educator oversees all the county clubs and that portion of our county fair. And then you have family and consumer sciences, which is what I am, which is a fancy way to say home ec. And just like extension's evolved over the years, home ec has evolved over the years. So yes, I teach canning and food preservations, but I also do public health. So I've done everything from provide some members of our Ironton Police Department and municipal court trauma-informed training. And I also have cooking clubs with homeschool groups across the county. So it's a really fun job, and it changes every day. But what I really like to stress to people is that, yes, I'm employed by the university. My family's from Ironton. I'm from Ironton. I live in Ironton. I serve the county first and foremost. Extension offices do usually have a cost share with the county commissioners. However, my position is 100% grant funded. So we've been a 4-H office only in Lawrence up until 2 years ago. So I'm funded through the Center for Disease Control on what they call the High Obesity Prevention Grant. We prefer to call it the Healthy Opportunities Program. So Lawrence is actually one of 2 pilot counties in the state, which is, one, exciting because we get to pilot some really cool programs, but unfortunately we qualify because of where our obesity levels and our chronic disease levels are. So the idea is to bring in some policy, public health, behavioral changes, as well as education, because that's at the root of the university, of course, and extension. So I focus on 4 areas, but really Nate brought me here today to talk to you about some of the work I'm doing related to active transportation. But I do want to let you know what those other strategies I work on are. So I am working on setting up a produce voucher program throughout the county that would allow families who need access to healthy fruits and vegetables to get it, while also giving money back to our farmers. I do some work on food service guidelines, which is really making the healthiest choice the easiest choice for our people. So doing anything from helping businesses and local government sign policies into place that water is always available, because that has trickle-down effects, and it can really help your health insurance costs too, to farm to school work. So I work with almost every school district in our county, as well as several daycares. And then lastly is active transportation. So I'm here because while I serve the whole county, I've chosen Ironton as my focus for this strategy because you really had to narrow in, but also because it's the county seat, it's our municipality, and it's where most people in the county come to work every day. So what active transportation is it's a form of public health, and I think for so long we kind of have public health over here and economic development over here, but really they're intertwined. And so it's thinking about, if our communities are built in a way where people can walk and bike and just get to their everyday destination actively, then 1, we all know we have to exercise, so we've already done it, it was a part of our everyday life. And 2, it actually increases a lot of those economic drivers. So I do have a fact sheet in that folder for you from the CDC on some of those economic benefits. But here in Ironton, we were focusing on some of the walkabilities, and so our sidewalks and things like that. And so we actually did a walk audit in November of 2024, the day before the election. We had yellow vests on and clipboards, so we did get some confused people. But, ultimately the findings were a mixed bag because really nothing's ever perfect, but it kind of helps you know what to focus on. Our strengths that we found were, and let me also say, it wasn't just me who did this, it was community members. I have a listserv that I sent a bunch of emails to, and so I have formed a coalition. And so I actually had some help from Ohio University. I had a representative from the municipal court here in Ironton, as well as some schools, and the county commissioner's office sent a representative for that walk audit. So we found some strengths, of course. Our sidewalks are wide, they have short blocks, and the beautification was a huge, positive on that. But then we also found some challenges. I think we all kind of know what those are. Just the general wear and tear is really what it is. As well as some vacant buildings, because when we're talking about people getting out and walking, then, that can give some people the uneasy feeling. But after we did the walk audit, I then hosted a workshop. We have a consulting company out of Columbus we've been working with in partnership with the university called Tool Design, and they focus on some more rural counties and active transportation and that community focus. So we did a workshop to identify potential interventions. And so on the back page of that is some different strategies. Things like adding more artistic crosswalks. Last year I partnered with the local nonprofit Third and Center on their painting of crosswalks at the Rotary Fountain. This year we would love to expand it. I've actually talked to Jay up at Parks and Rec about maybe the farmer's market splash pad crosswalk could be like lily pads and fruits. And so we're, hopefully maybe that could be something we do. As well as adding like some signage because we want people in our community to know where to go, but we also want people from other communities. So, when you go to a town like Zanesville, you see all those signs that tell you exactly how to get places. So things like that. But also the cool thing about my grant is I can pay for some of those things. And so that's what I really want to be able to partner with the city on and do some of those low cost but high impact strategies, like adding some signage, creating more crosswalks, even if they're not artistic, doing high visibility stripes instead of the 2 stripes down the side, thinking about our intersections where we have a lot of vulnerable populations crossing. When we did the walk audit, we noticed like our crosswalk timers aren't actually long enough for a disabled person or an elderly person to fully cross the street. So looking at some things like that, we could change. Sorry, I talk really fast. I just realized how fast I talk. But I know y'all have had a long day or a long couple weeks. So I'm happy to take any questions. That's my general spiel. I didn't want to go crazy in depth, but I think there's a lot of really cool opportunities where we can not only better the health of the citizens in Ironton, but also create some economic drivers.
Nate?
This is the first time we got to meet, so thank you for coming. I appreciate that. And thank you, Sarah, for the reference. I appreciate that. That's what when Sarah was talking about, I think it was at the election forum, it kind of hit me because there's some of the things we've been talking about in here as far as downtown improvements in our last strategic plan. We're trying to get the rest of South 3rd Street paved from where it left off to Center Street. And we're looking at feasibility for having brick crosswalks instead of having to keep up with the maintenance of painting and have a consistent downtown theme, things like that. So, I wanted to kind of just make that introduction here, and see what ways we might be able to partner. And I know Robbie's been kind of leading the strategic plan for the city, downtown kind of stuff. So I didn't know if that's something like kind of blend or next step forward, but love to have Ohio State Extension in my mind as a partner with some things with Ironton. So I really appreciate your time. And I don't know, could we invite her maybe to the next strategic planning committee and see if we can come up with some common things we can work on together? Yes, absolutely. Okay. All right.
I've got a couple questions, and one of them is going to be directed to the mayor. I know we've talked a lot about wayfinding downtown. Mayor, I know we have some things in the works. Is there any way we can kind of combine what we have with what they're offering and kind of go that way with it.
Yeah, I would wanna look at some other options. Ones that we've looked at are pretty cost prohibitive, like we were looking at kiosks. They're very, this is put over there at the farmer's market, but we're talking maybe $20,000 for one. So probably other options like the signage thing those we're looking at in here and stuff like that. And you said you talked with Jay, so if you could work with him on that, that would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the signage was a big one in our workshop that we've done, and also just thinking about like not, that economic driving portion as well. I can't buy the electric one, but I could definitely do regular signs. I am federally funded, so sometimes they tell me no to stuff, but I would love to be a part of that.
Great.
I know the underground railroad sites in Lawrence County that are being marked with QR codes so that they tell a story, so that if there's no one physically present, they're still referencing a story. And so I think maybe there's a possibility for, I think that's the way of the world these days, is to move towards, if someone's not physically present, to give you directions or tell you a story, to maybe go towards QR codes, and that wouldn't require electric. And so I think maybe there is a chance for us to partner about some places that we would like. Welcome to Ironton, make sure you hit these places. Come back for the Memorial Day parade.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good thing I think about working. My favorite part about working for Extension is I serve my community, but I have the backing of a major university behind me. So I have like their marketing and their comms people to put together pretty, signs and make them. So that's something I can provide as well. Jay and I talked about getting together like a list of all the parks. Like, so on your the city webpage, there could actually be a PDF of like, here's where all the parks in the city of Ironton are. That someone could easily pull up on their phone. So different things like that are a great opportunity for partnership.
Nate?
You have any experience working with like entrance signs for communities? That's one of the things we've really wanted to hit was signage and consistent themed signage. And I didn't know if that was something also.
Yeah, kind of like that kind of beautification piece of like the welcome to Ironton, like kind of concrete.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the cool thing is bringing on with Extension where we have the agriculture and the gardening aspect of being able, we have Ironton Bloom, which is amazing, and we partner with them as well to kind of maintain that beautification aspect as well. I've even helped the Rotary Club with setting up that pollinator garden, so making sure
that's great, because like there was a lot of apprehension with the roundabouts when they first went in. Now I think people are starting to kind of embrace them. However, I think you see the maintenance that's kind of required in that area too. So I don't know. That's what I'm spending my mind, like some sort of partnerships for maintenance, for entrances, and just I think first impressions are a big thing too. So I really appreciate you coming, and I'm sorry it wasn't an ideal night. I know we had this scheduled for a while. You're probably like
There's a little nerves up
Yeah. Thank you for coming. I
No problem.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Follow up on our next, whenever Riley calls our next strategic planning meeting, I'll make sure that you get an invite for that also.
My cards are in your folder, so.
Perfect. All right. I've got a couple of things left
Absolutely.
here. There's been long discussion about parking and ways we can fix parking, and I think this coincides with walkways through our community and walkability. Do you guys kind of intermingle driving paths with walking paths? Because I think there's a couple streets that need to be one-way and one-way parking so we can fit more cars. And, if you only have to look one way, it's obviously, I would say it's half as dangerous, So, So I think that's one thing that I've really been pretty strongly for is reworking our driving downtown in order to make the city more walkable. Is that something that you guys study also and can kind of help with?
Yeah, it would be. I think that would be something I'd ask more questions to Tool Design, the consulting company, because they have the experts and the engineers. But as long as there's a walkability focus to it, I can be a part of that and use some of that consulting and funds to discuss.
Riley?
Thanks again, but Jacob is actually chairing strategic
planning
now. But I was thinking this also encompasses, I think, and industrial commercial. And
That's what it was.
yeah,
I'm
and then
sorry.
I also think partly
I got it mixed up.
with wayfinding Parks and Rec. So I'm almost wondering if maybe this is an opportunity for
Yeah.
council as a whole workshop that we get invited back for with a focus on all of those things.
And I'm focused on walkability, and I'm starting to focus more on the parks with Jay, and I wanted to extend an invitation to everyone, including community members who may be listening. My next coalition meeting, we meet quarterly, is January 21st, and Tool Design is coming in to lead another workshop related to specifically the parks in Ironton. That meeting will be from 1 to 3 at OU Southern in the Ohio room. I'm very thankful for their gracious use of space all the time. So everyone's invited to that, it's open to the community. And I think it'll be a really cool way because it pulls out some of those ideas of like, what do we really want to focus on? We know we can do 100 really cool things, but where can we put our effort and our energy and our funds in to make the biggest impact?
Sarah.
Just want to thank you for all the work that you've been doing, and I know you've been working on this for a long time, so thank you for bringing it.
Anybody else? We appreciate you coming out. We appreciate this information. Look forward to working with you.
Absolutely excited.
Thank you very much. Any more, I guess, anybody? Okay. Moving on to regular items participation. If you would like to address council anything but AI data centers, please step to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 5 minutes to address it.
Marion Tussey, 1507 Karen Street. First comment, I'm glad to see the mayor came to the other side. And
What's that mean?
well, you'll be sat over there. They're over here now. That might be a positive. Just a quick question to the 2 new council members. I've been coming for a year over the work that was done down in Green Valley, and for the 12, particularly my lot, but there's 12 houses that have yards that are lower than the street. Have either one of you been down there? And if you have, when were you down there?
I have. It was around the time of the election, and I think it was the week after the election as well. I was down talking to some people on Town Street, so it was kind of drove around some different areas on that.
So you saw it on Karen Street?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in that area probably October, November. It's been a while, but while there was construction going on, I haven't seen your exact property that you shared photos of last week.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and since I still have time, might as well use it. We still have that issue that the road is higher than our properties. Do we have any update on any?
What was it? Sorry.
The road's higher than our land. Are we going to do anything about that?
Contact Kevin Wood.
You haven't talked to him? No update from him?
About your,
Mhm.
no.
Are they planning on doing any other updates down there? Because I know they replaced
Yeah,
some
they
of
still
that
got
concrete.
plenty of,
No, on those particular pieces of property that have a road higher than our property.
I don't know, every single nook and cranny project they have.
And just one other comment I want to make. I thought it was interesting I haven't seen so many people in this room since Green Valley last year when we had a lot of people in here, and that didn't do any good. But you made the comment about having town meetings for the AI. I know you said don't mention AI, but you all mentioned that. Did we have any town meetings for the Green Valley Initiative?
Who mentioned having town meetings about AI?
Somebody over here said to Mr. Blankenship it would be a good idea to have town meetings.
For a township meeting.
Okay, well, I'm asking, did we have any town meetings for Green Valley and the issues that we had down there when all this work's been going on? Did we ever have any town meetings that were called?
Prior to,
Mm-hmm.
just to fund it and.
Nothing that the people were invited to, though.
Could have been there.
Thank you.
Any other items of participation?
You won't need it, Craig. My name's George McAlvin, 1745 Phillip Street. I just want to commend council for the stance you all took tonight. I'm not going to mention what it was, but you all know. And I want to tell you, I am very, very proud of every one of you all. And I think you all deserve some recognition for that. My congratulations to Troy and Sarah, y'all are doing a great job, and I thank y'all.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Danielle Fletcher. I live at 1392 County Road 1A. I wanted to ask, where can I be steered in the direction to unify the county to protect ourselves as a whole for issues that we've had here lately?
I would start personally with county commissioners meetings.
I know
the thing about the thing that gets me about those meetings are they are very hard to attend. I work, typical working hours. I can't go to those things. There were certain issues I would have liked to went, in the past year or two. I can't make them. I just, unless it's some random day where I don't have to work, I can't make it. So my thing is me personally, I would, as a constituent of Lawrence County and the Lawrence County Commissioners, they represent me, I would ask them to move their meetings to typical meeting hours in the evening to where more people can attend and address commissioners on issues. Very few people can attend those meetings. I'm really serious when I say
I am registered for the 12th.
Okay.
My question with that is it the county commissioners that work together for the whole county?
They're supposed to represent Lawrence County, yes. Now, on a checks and balances, a step down, I'm not sure what township your address is in.
I'm Hamilton Township.
So, Mr. Blankenship.
I know him personally.
Okay. Well, I don't know their meeting schedule.
I've got that too.
Okay.
I'm going to all the meetings.
I would start with county commissioners and your township trustees.
I'm even signed up for the LEDC meetings now.
Good. Good. That's where I would start. I mean, you're ahead of the ballgame now, and that's what I was going to address in miscellaneous. Like I said in the statement earlier, is we as Ironton City Council only have jurisdiction and any input on what happens within city limits.
May I ask a question? Do the county commissioners make ordinances?
Solicitor? No.
Where can I do that?
Your township.
Through Hanging Rock?
Well, not through Hanging Rock, the Hamilton Township.
Through the trustees?
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other audience participation this evening? Well, let me get back here. Moving along to communications, we have one. Craig?
Request no hearing for the liquor permit.
Nate, second. We have a motion by Craig and a second by Nate to request no hearing on the divisional liquor control permit. Rodney?
Yeah, I just want to say I have a little bit of a concern about Family Dollar venturing into alcohol sales, and I personally, in the name of transparency, would encourage having a hearing on that to hear more input from it.
We have a motion, so we have to vote on it. Second by Nate. Roll call, please.
Brown.
No.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
There will be no hearing on the liquor permit. Going to ordinances. Marta, would you please give first reading to ordinance 2601?
Imposing a moratorium upon AI data centers and declaring emergency. First reading.
Jacob?
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and give second and third reading to ordinance 2601.
I'll second. We have a motion by Jacob and a second by myself to suspend the rules for ordinance 2601 and give it second and third reading by title only. Roll call, please. Craig, sorry.
Sorry. I just cursory read it. Does it mention a time? Is it time? 12 months. 12 months. Okay. That's all. Sorry.
Nate?
Discussion.
Discussion.
I understand the concern. I just want to say, I understand concern with the AI data centers. But I also want to be cognizant of the largest employer in the city of Ironton. And this is just me. Instead of a moratorium, I would rather us just go ahead and address by zoning if it's something we want to address. If it was something like prohibited in industrial 1, industrial 2 zones, and go ahead with the zoning process, I would be supportive of that. As far as the moratorium with that, I mean, I don't know that I don't know what kind of signaling that has with our largest employer. That was my thing. But if we want to get Brigham on it right now and exclude that from I-1 and I-2 and have it for the next meeting, I'd be happy to sponsor that and support it.
My thing with the moratorium is it gives us time to holistically look at the entire AI data center realm, and instead of trying to rush legislation through, this gives us ample amount of time to look at that and look at different different options.
I don't know, maybe I heard it wrong. It's a consensus, not that we don't want it in the industrial zone. So let's just go ahead and just do that. That's what I'd be willing to do.
I think it gets to some time because as you know, the zoning process is lengthy, plus requires 3 separate readings, public hearing, 30 days notice, those kind of things. So I think
that's what I'm saying. If we start,
we're looking at like 4 months before we could even do the zoning ish, right?
Probably 3 to 4.
So I think it does buy us some time, and I'd be happy to repeal it once we do have the zoning in place. But I think the lesson learned from this is I don't want something coming in and breaking ground in 3 weeks. 3 weeks we get a ribbon cutting and we didn't even know about it.
Jacob?
That concern was brought up to me in a personal conversation with them, and my personal opinion is, it's if they want to respond to the market, that's great, but I personally don't. I think we just need to take a closer look, and we need safeguards. We had safeguards in place for the rehabs, and that was successful. And I think that I don't understand why we wouldn't put those safeguards in place.
Mayor?
Yeah, part of what Nate said, there's 2 reasons I think that even maybe it's just give it the first reading if that makes everything go well, because the 2 reasons are, one, there was one viable piece of land that could manage one of these, and that's got something else going now apparently. So it's not really necessary to even have a moratorium if there's not a possibility of a data center. 2, our largest employer in the city has 400 plus jobs. We have not spoke to them about their sentiment on this, which they exclusively build the heating and cooling systems for AI data centers. So I just do not want to send that message to them that we are not friendly to their business.
Again, I feel like they respond to the market, not what city council says, and I don't think that this has any bearing on their business.
The state sentiment, though, I mean, just a good example, when the marijuana legislation was on here, that held up over there, that development, because they didn't know if you were going to pass it or not. So there's just things to be considered. I think you should have conversations with our largest employer, and anything they may have. This has nothing to do with the potential of an AI coming. There's no knowledge of that happening. It's just a matter of let's not shoot a relationship that's vital to our community, having that business here.
I agree with the mayor. I think, Dr. Deegan said, we don't want it here. It's not going to happen here. He was on record. I think that we need to, if we want to exclude it, I think we should go ahead and just have it spelled out in our zoning. It gives time, even though they're usually poorly attended, for public audience participation. If our largest employer would like to come and talk about it with us, as far as excluding it, it gives them an opportunity to give feedback on it. I'd rather just go ahead and get it rolling right now. So that, I mean, I understand, I want to say, I understand the concern, but I would like to go ahead and just get the zoning process started.
My stance on this is that I've prided myself and in the past council of being proactive instead of reactive. I think we've done a good job, most of us on here for quite a while, and some of you guys, new guys, I think that's the way to approach things like this, is being proactive instead of reactive. As Craig said, if that is an issue, there's always the option to repeal the moratorium, but as Jacob said, or Craig also said, well, I don't want something coming in 3 months or 3 weeks under the cover of darkness and then us having to react to that. So what this does is gives us time and an ample amount of time to look at this, have meetings, have Vertiv come in and talk to them, and us have meetings amongst ourselves to move forward with this. I think that's only fair to give ourselves time and not us have to reactionary come up with some type of legislation to protect our residents that have, been overwhelmingly opposed to this. It allows, and even if the other side wants to, put out positive information on AI data centers, that also gives them the ability to get their ducks in a row. But what I think with this moratorium is it protects us for right now. We always have the option to repeal it, and it gives us the amount of time that we need to meet with whoever involved to have those discussions to see how we're going to move forward with this. Jacob?
I also want to point out, this is not anti-AI, it's a safeguard for the city. I don't think that it sends that message. I think that that's a narrative that's being crafted that isn't true.
I agree. Great.
And just to be clear, we're discussing in a second and third reading and suspending the rules right now, not really the legislation yet, but I really genuinely feel like it's splitting the baby to say we do need to be proactive and say, pump the brakes, let's give us time to work on our zoning. But I also would be happy to co-sponsor legislation to deal with zoning with you, Nate. So, I mean, I think that is the right approach, and I think that we probably should do away with this as quickly as possible, but it gives us some time to do that zoning process, which is lengthy.
That's my thinking on this also, right?
Nate, I'm wondering, will we have the option, could we invite a representative from Vertiv to join us at our next meeting and possibly look at not doing an emergency measure on this, but giving first reading and then having input from Vertiv before we actually vote on the moratorium?
I'd be okay with that. Yeah,
I think I would feel
more
comfortable with that.
Hear what they have to say is, well, yeah.
One thing I'm going to say about that is they could have shovels ready after 7:30 tonight. So what I'm saying is they didn't know that was coming in. This is, in my opinion, this is extremely time sensitive. We need time as a body to discuss this in meetings with whoever's invested in Vertiv, whoever's planning on being involved with the zoning. There's a lot of things that we need to pump the brakes right now, as Craig said, and then allow us time to take a deeper look at this. I think this is extremely time sensitive. I don't think it can wait for another meeting. I don't think it can wait for definitely not a third reading 2 meetings from now. I truly believe this is extremely time sensitive, and if we don't pass it tonight, we might as well not pass it at all.
I think just as it being proactive for the reasons you guys have brought up, it could also serve counteractive, just based on if they catch wind of what you're doing and it affects them before we have the opportunity to gain their. There's
so
things,
hold on, hang on a second. Hang on a second. This is a city council meeting, not a mayor's meeting.
All right, then I won't speak anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
My thing is why would somebody think that we're trying to give ourselves time, a reflection of us saying, oh, absolutely not. We are trying to buy ourselves time to prepare for this.
But
we're not doing anything else. It's not saying we don't want burger here. Yes, we obviously want burger here.
That's what the moratorium, the headline says. It says they ban the opening of them. I mean, that's what will come out, essentially, right? And that's what will be read by the CEOs of Vertiv, the people that are making decisions on its future here, those kind of things that can't be discussed, that we don't have the liberty to discuss that they do. There's things that could backfire tremendously, is what I'm saying, and it has nothing to do with AI data centers. Those AI data centers are just the companies that they serve. They provide they're pumping out $1.6 million worth of heating and cooling systems for those things a day, right up here in South Ironton. That's what I'm worried about, is their future here and the 400 employees that we have, not an actual data center coming.
I feel like it's a moot point considering the entire nature of our conversation tonight. I think that there will already be some press coverage that kind of outlines, the personal opinions here. Again, I feel like this is not an anti-AI legislation. This is a safe holder for the city.
I agree. This also allows for us to gather more information from residents regarding their concerns or their support. Like I said, this just buys us time to holistically solve the issue. Yes, ma'am?
I live directly across from Vertiv. They were originally Duke Energy. They've been there for the last 15, 20 years. They'll be here well after, if the data center is approved and actually is built or not.
I don't want to speak for Vertiv, but
they've been in business before this became an issue.
Like I said, I prefer to have time on this, and I don't want to be reactionary when it comes to something that I know people feel very strongly about. Give us time to work through it and talk to them.
Yeah, that's why I'm not for or against that. That's why I'm trying to put the point, like what Nate is saying. Like, if you want to go ahead and zone it, do the zoning part on it. That's a different thing than saying we do not.
But what I'm saying, we have to have time to zone. That's not. We don't have enough time between now and the third reading to currently zone. That's what I'm saying. This is time sensitive. If we work through the zoning in an ample amount of time and we can repeal this, then by all means, and that's the way to go about it. I'm all for that. But we need time to digest this and work through it holistically. That's all I'm saying. That being said, we have a motion by Jacob and a second by myself to give ordinance 2601 second and third reading by title only. Roll call, please.
Brown.
No.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Han.
No.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
You need six.
Moving along to ordinance 2602. Marta, would you please give that first reading? Sorry. First reading.
Creating Ironton Tree Commission Fund, Fund 31, and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Craig.
Move to suspend the rules, give ordinance 2602 second, third reading by title only.
Second. Have a motion by Craig and a second by myself to give ordinance 2602 second and third reading by title only. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
Rules have been suspended for ordinance 2602. Would you please give that second and third reading by title only?
Creating Ironton Tree Commission Fund, Fund 31, and declaring an emergency, second reading. Creating Ironton Tree Commission Fund, Fund 31, and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Craig?
Move to adopt ordinance 2602.
Have a motion by Craig and a second by Troy to adopt ordinance 2602. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Ordinance 2602 has been adopted. Moving along to ordinance 2605. Would you please give that first reading by title only?
Authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for health insurance coverage for the employees of the city of Ironton and declaring an emergency, first reading.
Craig?
I want to make mention that received favorable recommendation from Finance Committee this evening and move to suspend the rules and give ordinance 2605 second and third reading by title only.
I'll second. Motion by Craig and second by myself to give ordinance 2605 second and third reading by title only. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
Rules have been suspended for ordinance 2605. Would you please give that second and third reading by title only?
Authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for health insurance coverage for the employees of the city of Ironton and declaring an emergency, second reading. Authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for health insurance coverage for the employees of the city of Ironton and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Craig?
Move to adopt ordinance 2605.
Have a motion by Craig and a second by Troy to adopt ordinance 2605. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
Ordinance 2605 has been adopted. Marta, would you please give ordinance 2560 second reading by title only?
Amending codified ordinance sections 1046.02, 1046.10, and 1046.08, and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Craig?
Want to make mention that ordinance 2560 received favorable recommendation from Public Utilities this evening and move to suspend the order, or suspend the rules to give ordinance 2560 third reading by title.
Were there any amendments in that? Do we need to amend that at all?
No.
Okay. I have a motion by Craig.
Second.
Second. I have a motion by Craig and a second by Troy to suspend the rules and give ordinance 2560 third reading by title only.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
Rules have been suspended for ordinance 2560. Marta, would you please give that third reading by title only?
Amending codified ordinance sections 1046.02, 1046.10, and 1046.08, and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Craig?
Move to adopt ordinance 2560.
Sarah? Have a motion by Craig and a second by Sarah to adopt ordinance 2560. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
Ordinance 2560 has been adopted. Moving on to ordinance 2557. Marta, would you please give that third reading by title only?
Prohibiting registered sex offenders from being present on school property or at school-related events and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Craig?
I'll just, discussion, please.
Discussion.
I just wondered did we extend an invitation to the Ironton Board of Education? I realize that their meeting was the same time tonight, but, can we extend an invitation to them, regarding impact on them? Just, I think it was mentioned every time we read it, and I know timing's bad because their meeting was this evening, but I would like to at least extend the invitation. If they don't come, fine, but I'd be happy to move to table it until the next meeting so that they can at least attend.
Sarah?
I think it would also be good to invite the Board of Elections. I spoke with them today and they have concerns about schools being used as an election location, and putting poll workers and Board of Elections in the middle of a conflict between local law and statewide voting rights. So I think hearing that input is important.
So I'm hearing we have a motion by Craig to table.
Yeah, I'll make that a two-part motion now. I'll move to table ordinance 2557 and extend an invitation to the Ironton Board of Education and the Lawrence County Board of Elections to attend our next meeting,
22nd.
Whatever date it is, sure, yeah, 22nd. To provide input on this for possible amendment before adoption.
Motion by Craig to do all that. Sarah. Motion by Craig and second by Sarah to table with all the information that he just provided. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Vaughn.
No.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Ordinance 2557 has been tabled. I'll send an invite to the board president, and they probably had their organizational meeting tonight, so I'll have to figure out who the board president is. And who from the Board of Elections?
I'll send you a name. I spoke with a woman today.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Moving on to resolutions. Marta, would you please get reading to resolution 2603?
2026 salary resolution establishing salaries for non-union employees and declaring an emergency.
Craig.
Make mention that resolution 2603 received favorable recommendation from Finance Committee this evening and move to pass resolution 2603.
Troy, second. We have a motion by Craig and a second by Troy to pass resolution 2603. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Resolution 2603 is passed. Moving on to resolution 2604. Would you please get that reading, Marta?
Resolution naming Vice Mayor Chris Hany as an alternative signatory on city accounts and declaring an emergency.
I know Craig wants to motion that. Craig.
Move to pass resolution 2604 and get my name off of it.
Have a motion by Craig. Sarah. Second by Sarah to pass resolution 2604. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Resolution 2604 has passed. Moving on to miscellaneous. Anybody have any miscellaneous? Jacob first. Robbie, I got you next. Jacob first.
Okay.
Robbie, you had your hand up first.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Robbie.
There was a lot of talk about this petition. Cassidy Adams is the one who spearheaded that. She gave me a printout here of, this is, I'm assuming the more than 5,000 signatures.
Okay.
Part of signing this is like, you have to register your address, and there are a significant amount of people that sign this from Ironton. And I think it's reflective of the overall sentiment of the public. So I'd like to move to make it be included as part of the minutes so that if anyone is interested, they can see the people that have signed it.
I'll second that. Craig.
Can you label the top of it? I can just see it. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Yeah, yeah.
Roll call, please, Marta.
Brown.
Discussion.
Yeah,
just a question. Do the people that sign, I guess, is it a public?
It's a change.org petition.
So they can see the other names and addresses already on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just
Part
wanted to
of
make sure
signing it
everybody
is putting your name on it.
Okay.
So I think that I would assume that everyone that signed this would be okay with that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Everybody good? Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
That document will be submitted if you can please pass that over. Any other, Robbie, you're next. Miscellaneous.
Yeah, I was just gonna, question for the
Okay.
mayor. Out of curiosity, is our street department, do we have talent on hand for repairing brick streets, like putting them back together correctly, or do we have to outsource that?
It's a tedious and it takes a long time to do, which we do. So if you see like one that, there's quite a few right now, those are mostly water department dig out. So we're behind on those, and then it also takes getting brick, but yeah, I've watched them sit there and chisel them down to make them fit. Like it just takes a while to get that done. It's usually more of a spring, but.
So it is forthcoming.
Yeah, so like the ones that you do see where there's asphalt from, those are from years ago. Right. It's like a thing that we'll put brick back if the brick there.
And our big corner here by Umbridge is specifically what.
Yeah, that one, well, that's broke twice.
Yeah.
And so, and a lot of times you want to, if you see big dig outs that you're like, why I haven't fixed this yet? A lot of the times you want it to settle. That way it doesn't, because if you pour the dirt and then it doesn't settle, it can easily crush the lines again. So we use that to compact it down before they drive over it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Craig?
I'd just like to make mention every time we get an opportunity for the public to encourage our residents to register for our text alerts, because the mayor's office sent out in the last couple of weeks information around the water meter project and people in your neighborhood, and then lead testing and people in your neighborhoods and vests, and they've been up in my neighborhood and they are in some trucks that you're like, I don't know, but that information made me feel better. So just one, thank you to Terry and the mayor's office for doing that, but two, just encourage our residents to sign up for those text alerts, because it does really help with information.
Nate?
I have several things here, sorry. First, Reagan, would you go ahead and draft the legislation needed to change or to prohibit AI data centers locating in I-1 and I-2 zones in the city for our next meeting, please?
I-1 and I-2.
Correct. And then I had a question, a couple of things, Mayor. The aggregation, electric aggregation, I've had people reach out. I saw it on my bill also that the AEP was terminating the aggregation contract, or was no longer with that supplier.
And
is that?
We're going to put out RFQ for a new broker.
Okay.
As you remember, we were deciding that we wanted to explore options with
brokers. So that's happening soon?
Yes.
Okay. In the meantime, is the supplier going to be AEP itself?
Unless they opt, so that's the one thing, if you opt into it, there's also other options through AEP, but they're not going to be the same as what we've had, and sometimes they lock you in, so make sure people are aware if they do try to join one. Once we have ours, that's why it automatically opts in those people that are not part of one already.
Okay.
So they'll know, they'll be notified, and then we'll all have to answer their questions whenever they say, why did I opt into this? So.
Nate.
Yes, sir.
If you opt into a third party vendor that's not AEP, then they lock you in and you're not automatically opted into the city aggregation.
Gotcha.
But if you default back to AEP's supply, then you're automatically opted back into the city aggregation.
I always have a hard time trying to understand that and explain it.
Yeah.
And it's the same for gas too.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say about the aggregation program is because I sent you a message about it, trying to grasp, I know you're the aggregation expert, but I was trying to explain to a resident, and we actually had it was 0.03, so well, I guess it was 3 cents, but their transmission fee or whatever, generation fee or whatever it is, was 10 cents per kilowatt hour. What we were offering at that time was 7 cents. So we were 3 cents less than what the regular rate was. And it actually saved them a bunch of money. And trying to explain it to them was pretty difficult, because they thought they were getting charged an extra fee, but I was trying to explain to them that they were saving it it was something like $40 or $50. I think it was $53 exactly.
And that's
that
the
they were
reason that we wanted to do a new broker, because the former broker we've used was pushing just 1-year deals since because we did benefit significantly from 2019 to 2022, I think, because we had a 3-year deal whenever hit Texas, that winter storm knocked out that, and the electric started soaring and gas, and so we were locked in at really good rates over those couple years, and then they started pushing 1-year contracts on us. It felt like more of like a sales approach to us, so we felt like we need to, we've been with that same broker since the beginning of this program, 2015. It was a good idea to market it and shop, the people that are brokering it for us. So we'll have options, and hopefully by the end of the month we'll have that out, and maybe in the next month we'll have a deal. While the market's still good, electric is big time in the summer.
February maybe looking like,
or March, depending on how long. Once we have time to review the people that submit, which I think there'll be quite a few.
I'm sorry, I know we've had a lengthy day, but I have 2 more things. The street sweeping schedule, there used to be a street sweeping schedule on the website. I remember seeing it at one point.
The old website.
I think it might have been the old website.
Yeah.
Can we repost that? Because I've had a lot of people.
It's still on there.
It is on the current website?
If you go into the Legacy Initiative, right? The S4 program.
You can, or you can go to the search and put street sweeper schedule.
Okay.
And it'll pop up.
Because I've had just different people like move their cars, I guess, on the wrong day, or.
It wasn't me either this time.
Yeah, whatever. I don't believe you.
Yeah, but we can put it up there.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much. And then, I know we're getting a new business on Vernon Street in Dairy Queen. The condition of Vernon Street between 7th and 9th is really bad. I know we're kind of hem-hawing as far as what development would go there between Vernon and Washington. But can we take a look at what it would take to improve that street? Or can we have like maybe a meeting on and street improvements for that area? There's other issues that I've had people talk about, like trying to cross a street on Washington and not being able to see because of cars parked too close. And then also turning left on the park off of 9th Street in that area also. So I don't know if we could just have an overall discussion of what we could do maybe as an improvement for that. And then I don't know if we can get Kevin Wood involved in it too. But I'd really like to, at the very least, be able to do something for like Dairy Queen, like that Vernon Street.
Yes, as far as Dairy Queen goes, we've discussed those kind of amongst the groups.
Okay.
Whether it be grant funded or we're funding it, that would be the difference on how long it takes, because we do think you could possibly go after ARC grant.
Well, I just feel like there's some immediate need there, and if you have some estimates that might be able to propose for improvements, I'd like to take a look at that.
Okay.
Do we have a timeline of when because we're supposed to get some more paving done pretty soon, correct?
We applied for a grant on that, probably know in March.
So it'd probably be a good idea to have that project ready if we have a paving company in to go ahead and have their equipment here.
I think they'll fall under if that's grant funded, it'll fall under different scope. Like it won't be able to have them be part of 2. You'd have to bid both.
Well, what I'm saying is that could possibly lower the bid if they're already going to have every piece of their equipment needed in town, right? I mean, that you would think. 'Cause I don't know what the transportation of their equipment cost is. But.
Maybe. Most of them subcontract to the same group.
Okay.
Anyhow.
Any indication on the punch list? We've gotten a little bit of that from Evan, but they're still working on the punch list from everybody I've talked to.
I told him he owes you a big update next meeting. Cause he tried to give it all to me in about
Wow.
5 second
Yeah.
walking out the door yesterday, and I was like, well, you're just gonna have to talk. Cause there's a lot
I
of
invited
things.
him for the next meeting, he was invited guest, because I knew there was a lot of,
Okay.
yeah.
Any other miscellaneous? I entertain a motion to adjourn. Craig?
So moved.
Robbie?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.